Hello, class. We are going to continue discuss on the chapter 2 of this course, Environmental Science. So we're going to talk about the threats to biodiversity from the tourism and hospitality activities. So there is a hidden cost of the travel, and it is the tourism's impact on biodiversity. So the tourism relies heavily on nature's diversity, but also drives habitat loss and also population and species decline across the globe. So what draws millions to pristine destinations often becomes the very force threatening their existence. Hotels and resorts contributes through the extensive land use changes and also the resource overconsumption. And lastly, the systematic disturbance of wildlife corridors and breeding grounds. So, let's begin by asking ourselves, why do tourists come to the Philippines, especially here in Bohol? So, they are attracted to the pristine beaches, also the coral reefs in Panglao, the tertiaries and chocolate hills, and the clean rivers like Lobok. But here's the paradox. The same tourism that brings income also threatens the very environment people come to see. So the hotels, resorts, and infrastructure development often disturb the natural habitats. So if it is unmanaged, tourism can cause an irreversible biodiversity loss. That is why there should be a balance on the activity in the tourism, that it cannot really affect the biodiversity. Right? So let's proceed to the next slide. So there were five major threats to biodiversity that amplified by tourism. We have habitat loss, pollution, over exploitation, invasive species, and climate change. For the habitat loss, construction and land grabs inside protected areas fragment critical wildlife corridor. So if we will exceed in creating or establishing an infrastructure near to the natural environment, it can lose the habitat. Also, the pollution, like air emissions from the car or in the manufacturer, wastewater, especially if we will not conserve the water and reuse the water, it can add also to the pollution. Also, the solid waste, if we don't have a solid waste management, and chemical runoff contaminating ecosystems, especially those garbages or waste coming from the hospitals and other manufacturing business. Also, the overexploitation. So, the unsustainable wildlife tourism and excessive resource extraction, depleting the species. Okay. The fourth one, invasive species. Global travel introduces non-native species that disrupt the local ecosystem balance. Example here is the zoo. So other wildlife animals coming from other country, if we will bring that in our country here in the Philippines, it can disrupt the local ecosystem balance because it introduces a different species. And the fifth one is the climate change. Tourism massive carbon footprint accelerates habitats alteration and species loss. So this is also a byproduct of um, tourist activities that cannot be stopped because of many tourist arrivals visiting the tourist sites. So, in the global and Philippine context, so there are five threats, which these five, okay? Example here in the context of Philippines and in Bohol, for the habitat loss, resorts built in Panglao sometimes expand into mangrove areas and destroying fish nurseries. It is not only in Panglao but also in Anda. You can also observe that. For pollution, wastewater from coastal hotels goes to the sea, affecting the corals. It is also experienced in the Boracay Island, right? And for overexploitation, tourists sometimes collect shells, starfish, or overfish, leading to depletion. You can also, I think you also observe that there are foreign tourists. Once they visit the beaches, they will get some starfish and other shells. They will make it as a souvenir. So by bringing that, it can leads to depletion. Fourth one, invasive species here. Imported ornamental plants or aquarium fish disturb the local ecosystems. And last, for the climate change, tourism's carbon footprint adds to rising sea levels, endangering the coastal barangays in Bohol. You can also observe that if you are living near in the coastal areas, the sea level is rising, right? You can observe that. And that is one of the causes or one of the major threats to biodiversity that amplified by tourism. Now, there were a dramatic scale. The biodiversity lost in numbers. So what are those examples? Species at risk face extinction in coming decades without urgent interventions. So there are 1 million plus species at risk. Also, there are 3 billion bird lost. Example here, North America has lost since 1970 with the beetle populations down 83%. And two football fields, this is just an example of the tourism related habitat destroyed every minute globally. So this is really a problem in the part of biodiversity. It loses some numbers. So all worldwide, over 1 million species, again, here, are at risk of extinction. So let's bring it closer to home in Bohol. So the coral reef degradation has been reported in areas of high tourism activity. So a single resort construction can wipe out hectares of mangroves and equivalent to two football fields every few minutes globally. So if these trends continue, further generations might not see tarsiers or swim in a clean beaches. So that is why this is a really threats to tourism activity. Though it can contribute to our economy, but there are something that we need to think about. Okay, it can also damage our natural resources, but we can mitigate that or we can resolve that through some sustainable practices. Example of a case study related to this issue, tourism land grabs in protected areas. So there are three examples here: development pressures. We also have environmental degradation and misleading marketing. So across the Philippines, there have been cases of land grabbing inside protected areas. In Bohol, some development pressures target areas near the Chocolate Hills and coastal zones in Anda. I think it is also have a trending before, I think 2 years ago or 1 year ago, about the issues on building a swimming pool near the Chocolate Hills. I think it's not in Anda, in Carmen, but in the Sagbayan part. But it is also considered as one of the hills that we have mentioned here, the Chocolate Hills. So there are some issues there because they built resorts or swimming pool in the hills. Okay. So these are the examples of development pressures. There's also a habitat fragmentation. So the wildlife corridors for birds and bats are blocked. Why? Because of some infrastructure built near in the natural resources. And also there's a social issues. Some communities are displaced or lost fishing grounds. For example, in Anda, so they create a barrier. It is only intended for the guests that will have a scuba diving. But before that, there is no resorts in that particular place. The fishermen can freely catch fish on those areas. But because of the tourism activities, they have lost the fishing grounds. Now there is also about the water and resource overuse. It's because of some um, establishment. Okay, so it affects the community. It is a silent threat. We cannot determine on that part or observe on that part, but that's really problem on the community. So there's a massive water consumption. Hotels consume up to 440 liters per tourist daily in a dry region for pools, swimming pools, laundry, and landscaping. So it wastes 440 liters per tourist daily. Okay. Also, golf course impact. The tropical golf course use water equivalent to tens of thousands of villagers plus heavy chemical inputs to sustain the healthy condition of the grasses. Also, ecosystem collapse over extraction leads to water scarcity and degradation in vulnerable destinations. So one of the biggest hidden threats is the water use. Again, for example, in our context here in the Philippines and in Bohol, a hotel guest in Panglao may use 400 plus liters of water per day, while a family in rural Bohol or in Panglao may survive on less than half of that. And also, golf courses in tropical island use water equivalent to thousands of villagers' supply plus heavy chemicals that seep into rivers. So this creates competition between tourism facility and the local community for scarce water resources. So there is only a limited source of water. So there will be a competition. It creates competition between the tourism facilities and the local community. So that is also one of the threats. Now let's proceed to the tourism's double-edged sword, the economic benefits versus biodiversity risk. Because of tourism activities, it creates an economic benefit. It can add up to the tax, to the municipality, to the local government unit. At the same time, it increases the opportunity for an employment, and also it creates jobs like employment, and also it helps the small businesses. But there's also a negative impact on that part, and that's about the biodiversity risk. So there are three here: conservation funding. So this is the solutions on these risks that we identify. So for conservation funding, tourism revenues provide essential funding for conservation in many destinations worldwide. Also, number two, development pressures. Same revenues can drive unsustainable development that destroys the ecosystems they're meant to protect. And the third one, critical balance. COVID-19 revealed communities' dependence on tourism for wildlife protection. Balance is really essential. So tourism gives jobs and income, right? So Bohol depends heavily on tourism, especially after the 2013 earthquake and pandemic. Recovery was driven by the visitors. However, the same revenues can pressure the local leaders to allow overdevelopment, leading to long-term loss of biodiversity. So the challenge here is what? The balance. Okay. How do we earn without destroying? So that is the challenge, the balance. How do we earn without destroying the biodiversity or the natural resources? Now let's proceed to the industry commitments and global framework. So there were various leaders worldwide thinking on solutions on this part. So we have global, number one, global collaboration, the UNWTO, Sustainable Hospitality Alliance, and WTTC have have been united on nature positive. Again, nature positive. We discussed this from the previous online discussions. Goals to halve biodiversity loss by 2030. Number two, 30 by 30 or 30 times 30 target. COP15's ambitious goal to protect 30% of the land and oceans, with tourism playing a pivotal role. Number three, industry action. Hotels adopting native planting, waste reduction, sustainable sourcing, and comprehensive guest education program. So the Philippines being a member of the UNWTO is part of the global targets such as the 30 by 30 initiative. So to protect the 30% of land and oceans by 2030. That is why it is called 30 by 30. Okay, 30% to protect 30% of the land and oceans by 2030. Locally, LGUs in Bohol have marine protected areas, or they call it MPA. Excuse me, like in Anda and Dawis, where fishing and anchoring are regulated. Tourism stakeholders must align with these frameworks to ensure Bohol's attractions remain sustainable. Now let's proceed what hotels and tour operators can do now because of this risk or because of this problem. First, it requires to assess and reduce carbon emissions and water use while prioritizing native habitat restoration. Number two, protect sensitive areas, avoid development in critical habitats, support local conservation initiatives. Third one, educate the guest. Biodiversity importance and responsible behavior during their stay in the hotel or in a resort. Transparent reporting, regular disclosure of biodiversity impacts, and measurable progress. So practical steps in Philippines and in Bohol context, for example, in assess and reduce. Example here, limit water and energy use. Example, resource in Panglao using solar panels. For protection areas, those hotel resorts might avoid construction near the tertiary sanctuary. So to avoid destruction, okay, destruction or to avoid disturbance. Also educate guests, remind the visitors when they visit a tourist spot, remind them not to touch corals or catch starfish. The fourth one, for transparent reporting or for the transparency, the management has this obligation to report actual waste management practices. So not just promotional slogans, but report actual waste management to inspire the visitors and also to challenge them. So here is the last slide for this discussion. Tourism's role in biodiversity's future. Okay. So same as you are being the future managers or future owners of the business related to hospitality and tourism industry. So there are three here. Critical crossroads. Tourism can either accelerate biodiversity loss or become a powerful conservation ally. The choice is ours to make. Okay, so when you become a manager or owner of a business, you need to think on the you have two choices. It's either to conserve the natural resources or to destroy. So tourism can either accelerate biodiversity loss or become a key ally in conservation. So for Bohol, protecting biodiversity means protecting its identity. So what are those? Here in Bohol, the beaches, tarsiers, and natural wonders are the island's brand. So this is our brand in the island of Bohol. The beautiful beaches in Andan, Panglao, the tarsiers, and natural wonders. So the choice is ours. So we will let mass tourism destroy Bohol, okay? Or we will champion the sustainable practices for the next generation. We also have coordinated actions. Urgent collaboration across governments, industry, and travelers is essential for meaningful change. And we need to have a shared responsibility. Protecting biodiversity safeguards the natural wonders that make tourism possible. Our commitment to a sustainable future. To summarize, tourism is both an opportunity and a threat. Again, tourism are both opportunity and the threats. In the Philippines, especially in Bohol, biodiversity is the backbone of tourism. Protecting nature means protecting livelihoods. Again, protecting nature means protecting the livelihoods. So let's remember, kung mawala ang atong kinaiyahan, mawala po ang turismo nga atong gipasigarbo. So if we lost our environment, we also lost the tourism we are proud of. So that's the end of our discussion. And don't forget to answer the online quiz. Bye bye.